Hey guys, welcome back to MuscleMentor.net. I'm Brad Hall and this is Justin Harris, and I want to talk a little bit about blood glucose testing. I know we've spoken about it for the basically like the carb loading and final week protocols, but I want to talk about it using it during the contest diet. And really, what we're looking at here is making sure that that things are going the way that they should be. And we spoke in another video about some of the almost reactions that Justin was having with cortisol and stress towards the end, and the effect that was having on his blood sugar. And so looking back and thinking about the diet and how low in calories that we had to get and things like that during the off season, started to make some connections between how stressed he was and that possibly being a contributor to his blood sugar being higher than it needed to be. And when you're trying to lose body fat, that's a awful combination.
It's almost an impossible combination. Right. I mean, you can lose body weight, but your body doesn't oxidize fat for energy. It just doesn't in a case where glycogen levels are high or sugar levels are high.
So what I would recommend is, especially if you do a cyclical carb diet or a carb rotation diet like Justin does, on the low days, or when your blood sugar should be really stable and fairly low. I mean, on the high days it's going to be what it is, but on the low days especially, checking your blood sugar both when you wake up first thing in the morning, and then you can do it with another meal, or right before another meal. So it'll be about 3 hours, 2.5, 3 hours since your last meal, depending on how many times a day that you're eating or how long you're awake. And checking that out and just making sure that it's somewhere, I'd say, if you're in the 70s, right around that, within the 70s. If it starts creeping up a little bit higher than that during the day, it's not that huge of a deal. But if you're constantly, in the high 80s, 90s, and stuff like that on a low day, then something might need to be looked at. Whether it's, like I said, your stress levels, or that you might be getting, your calories might be too high, your carbs might be too high.
There's other things too. There's bodybuilding products that can affect that, like supplementing with growth hormone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if those things aren't being looked at, and you go through an entire 16-week prep, you might be pretty upset at the end to find out that you weren't being as effective as you could have been. So, in the off season, it may not be as huge of a deal, but when you're putting everything into a contest prep, you want to make sure everything is firing on all cylinders. So blood glucose monitor is not very expensive. It's not hard to do. It's not a difficult thing to learn. And I've even heard that they're coming out with like new ways that are like the prickless.
Oh yeah, and the ones they have now are essentially pain-free. Mm-hmm. I have a diabetic daughter, who's been testing herself up to 10 times a day since she was 5. So if
she can do it.
Yeah, I hope if you know as tough as a 5-year-old girl, she's a tough 5-year-old girl though. So.
Yeah.